Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 89 of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, who are on the move this week. They're in Garden Grove, California for the big Disneyana show out there.
But there's still plenty of merchandise in the store as
well.
well.
That's right. And Valentine's Day today. So
yes. Happy Valentine's Day,
everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. So today is part 2 of our big Disney Dream Cruise.
Part 2 of
2.
Like there might be a tiny bit next, as you would call it,
remnants. Yes.
Next week, but not too much.
So this is Castaway Cay, and this is the beginning of the day of day 3.
And that's the view from our balcony, and I definitely recommend the balcony. And I went up to Cabanas just for a tiny bit of food for us to split. And
that was really good, too. You have some smoked salmon in there. I think there's some trout there.
We had been doing room service, so I didn't realize how good the food was up at Cabanas, and it was only 2 floors above us, so next time.
So here we are. We're taking the tram into Castaway, and of course, our favorite things here are the characters.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of favorite things on Castaway.
On
Castaway Cay. We didn't actually look for characters too hard. They were everywhere.
Right, and I like how they were dressed in their swimming finery. Goofy's ready to go for a swim there.
Pluto never goes too crazy with his outfits.
Yeah, he has I think he has like a life preserver.
He has like a little life preserver, but Goofy actually has the swim shorts and everything on too.
Mickey is very decorated there with his Hawaiian shirt, ready to go.
And it's really fun to see them. I liked where Goofy was because you could actually see the ship. This is really nice also with the characters behind him. But I really like seeing the ship in the background.
And just like we've noticed on all the character greetings on the cruise, not that hard to greet them, to meet them. Not
and there's
big giant
Pluto.
line. Oh, Pluto's doing his little shake.
When we got off the ship, Donald and Daisy were there in Chippendale, and those were longer lines because they were there right as you left the ship, and we didn't end up waiting for any of them. But here we only had to wait maybe a few minutes each.
Well, you see, you're exposing the movie magic because we are going to see those characters by the ship too.
Okay, but we didn't wait for them.
It was supposed to appear that it was all a seamless shot, but now you know that's okay.
Those lines were longer because everybody was getting off the ship
and
saw them right away.
They're the first things you see, and we'll demonstrate that. I like how she does that little leg pirouette there.
It's too bad we didn't have Mickey over there too.
That's right. Oh, here he is. And Goofy is always one of the most playful characters, I think.
And we saw some of these characters, especially like Goofy, in like 4 or 5 different outfits during the cruise. So it was always fun to see what they were going to come up with.
And they started to remember us. He would point to the camera and point to me, and I like that.
It felt like they did.
Well, it would not felt like. I'm sure they did. They saw us all the time.
They're like, oh no.
Oh, and it's Captain Jack. There's Captain Jack. We saw him later on the adult beach.
He just kept he came walking down the adult beach. It was really odd.
And you see, here's that what you talked about right as you got off the ship by the post office there. It's Chippendale.
And everybody was sort of switching out also. So when we came out, Daisy was leaving, Donald was arriving.
Oh, there's Daisy now. And Daisy keeps it clean because I noticed when she goes back on the ship, she said she had to put more sun stuff on.
Oh, but
sunscreen. Watch this. She's still going to wash her hands. Everyone's supposed to, wash your hands on the way in. So
well, get the hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. That's what I meant. So this is Serenity Bay. It's the adult-only beach, and we went there for a little while, about half the day,
for a couple of hours,
and it was very relaxing. One thing I recommend is if you like to snorkel, bring your own snorkeling gear because they actually don't rent any for the Serenity Bay area. So it was nice to be able to snorkel. Oh, there's Captain Jack.
And I keep getting asked about my shirt. I always wear sun protective clothing if I'm, especially if I'm not going in the water or anything.
It was in the 80s. Everyone says, boy, you look really cold. Either that or
It's very lightweight.
Yeah.
And there's a buffet at the adults only area as well, next to Serenity Bay. And they had like ribeye. It looks like we ate a lot, but there was the ribeye was like half fat, so I didn't eat too much ribeye. And all kinds of good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I had some brats. I like the brats. There's some pork ribs there. All sorts of good stuff. Some chicken. I was very pleased. We researched all the different places to eat, and it seemed like this barbecue. Oh, there's the mahi-mahi. Mm-hmm. I loved the mahi-mahi.
We had heard that they had, I have not been to Serenity Bay before. I had never really ventured out to the adult beach. So it was nice to see what they offered versus the cookies.
Yeah, and we checked out cookies too. So we checked out cookies too, and the Serenity Bay barbecue, and we decided the barbecue had the best selection for us of the food.
It was mostly the same with a few differences, but you tried a very tiny bit of chili,
Oh, at Cookies too. It was at Cookies too.
Okay, right before it closed.
And we just saw a giant cookie there, and
I know,
a
they have the
pineapple
biggest cookies.
upside down cake. Delightful. It really was good.
The food is good there.
So after the lunch, we decided to go over to the family beach.
Well, we actually wanted to see the ship. It certainly feels much more like a Disney island here, looking at the ship from our chairs.
I mean, this is the exact view. I recorded this from our chairs, so it really was a very nice view, and it's also an overview of what we're going to look at next, which is the snorkeling.
Right, and we were also near the slide, which we'll see in a little bit too.
Right, the Pelican Plunge, which is fairly new. So this is me. I have my GoPro. I'm in the water, and I have done this before, but I've never recorded it, and I thought it would be fun to take everyone along for a snorkeling adventure. Now, I have a separate video, which is a little longer, that shows all the cool things you could see down there, but for now, we're just going to see my top 3. And my number 1 thing is Mickey. It's the sunken Mickey, and Mickey seems to be the mast on the ship here that has sunk. And this is the first thing I ever found when I went snorkeling at Castaway many years ago. I think, when did the cruise line start?
1998.
The first year. So he's been there a long time. Some of the other things have come later, but Mickey, I know, has been there forever.
I don't snorkel, so...
So this is your only chance to see all this.
This is my chance to see
What do you think of it? I mean, does it look cool to you?
It looks cool. I'm glad I can see it without having... And the water was cold, so I didn't... I got in up to like
you
less
didn't
than
last
my knees.
very long
No, I didn't.
in the water.
It was
in the
chilly.
lagoon.
I thought it was cold.
See, I thought it was quite comfortable, as you'll see later on as I go on Pelican Plunge. And I was in the water here for over an hour doing all this stuff.
That's a long time.
So, I was so excited to see Mickey, though, I forgot one very important thing.
What?
To breathe. So at one point, I realized, I should probably breathe, and I breathed, but I forgot I had sunk. You can see I sunk a little bit low, so I kind of breathed in a little water.
Well, don't do that.
Yes, this is what not to do. But it's good because they make you have to wear these
Life
blow-up life preservers, and you have a little thing next to your mouth which you can inflate. See, right here, I think I'm starting to sort of have some trouble, and although I think I still wave. But between then and now, I blew up, and I just kind of took a little break and floated for a while. But then I was back on the hunt, and here is the 20,000 League Sub.
How deep are these?
Well, you could see here that's probably about 10 feet deep or so.
Okay.
I mean, you've been on the subs before. That is one of the original Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues in Florida. So you could see how big it is. Now, particular times of the day, it is deeper than other times, as we'll see when we get to the Minnie. Coming up next is a Minnie statue. And if you go in the morning, it is deeper because of the tides.
Okay. I am not a water person.
You'll never do this.
I
ever.
will never do this. I don't like to go underwater. So that's why I was wondering.
Well, that was the last look at the 20,000 League subs. And you could see full. I actually put the GoPro in it. So if you want to see all this stuff, I'll link to it in the other thing. But
in the show notes.
In the show notes, that's right. But this is new to me this year, and it's a Minnie statue, kind of like a Greece-like statue to me. Is that the correct thing to say?
Greece?
Grecian?
Grecian? I don't know.
What is the underwater city called?
Atlantis.
That's what I meant to say. And as you can see, it's not that far, not that deep. See, I just surfaced, and you could see only like 2 or 3 feet from the surface is where she is.
So would I be able to go there?
Right now, you could go. This time of day, I could have brought you to see Minnie.
Oh.
But if we had gone in the morning, Minnie would probably be about 5 feet deeper. Because of the tides.
But it was too cold, so it didn't matter.
It didn't matter because you were cold. And you enjoyed sitting in your comfortable chair.
I did. I had some magazines.
And then this is the way back. And again, you kind of have to maneuver through all this seagrass and all. So I enjoyed it, but it was very tiring. But because of the time of day, and I had not done it yet, I had to go to Pelican Plunge. Another thing you didn't have
I didn't
an
do
interest
that
in,
either, so I have
anyway.
nothing to say. It looked nice.
Well, Pelican Plunge is on the other side of where we just were. There's sort of another little inlet here, and it's new. It was an addition. And Pelican Plunge...
About 4 years ago they added, I think, 2010.
Right, that is correct. And it's actually a barge. See how it's a barge there? So you have to swim to it. It's over your head. You can't walk to it.
That's why I can't go on it.
Yeah, well, we'll see other reasons why
There's
you don't go on it.
many reasons I won't go on it.
But to deviate from that a little bit, if you're somebody like Denise who doesn't like to swim or go, over their heads in the water, plenty to do on Castaway. Well, yes, but aside from
there's biking, which we didn't end up doing. There's a 5K, which I thought about doing but didn't do. Next time, I'd like to do a little more activity.
Yeah, there's tons of things to do, and we will certainly do that. We'll do it. You could have a completely different experience another day.
Every time you cruise, it could be absolutely different.
And I think we need to do that for research purposes. We need to go back on the cruise ship and do everything different and see.
We are talking about the Disney.
We are talking about
magic.
That, yes. And here is, on a hotter day, you can be squirting those little pelicans.
There were people squirting them, and I was worried about my camera because I just didn't want them pointing.
Well, that was a different spot, though. You were that. This is on the barge here,
okay.
And you were at the photo place, the Nikon photo spot. Although it doesn't say that.
No, I don't think that's what it is.
And you can see the ship, and here we are. We're on the top of the slides, and I'm about to go on
look at that
the
view.
slides. Yes,
I haven't even looked at this.
We'll have to get you to swim out there next time.
No.
You wouldn't like that? You would like that part.
All right.
This you would not like. This is the tube one.
When I was a kid, I took swimming lessons for years and years and years at the Y, and I never made it past. They only put me past tadpole because I was too old for it. Like, I made it to minnow. I couldn't do the minnow stuff.
Well, what we just saw was the more scary slide, which is the enclosed slide.
It's all scary.
Well, see how deep? I mean, you come into the, like, you were literally way underwater. You have to swim to the top. The next one is the funniest one. I wanted to show it to you. Oh, here's one of those tipping buckets that you see at the water park. This happens about every minute and a half. It's a smaller bucket. And I know it looks like there's nobody there, but this is because the beach is closing at 4 and it's about 3:30 when we did this.
It was a lot more crowded earlier in the day.
Oh yeah, very crowded. I didn't do it during the day. It was so crowded. And here we are. I'm going down the speed slide. I like this slide better. It's more fun to me. You get some good speed.
Toward the end of the day is a great time.
Here's the part you don't like. Look at how far down.
No thanks.
I probably went down about 6-7 feet underwater. Had to swim back up.
Oh my gosh.
Be aware. It is a deep ending.
I would want a life vest.
You would,
and a raft.
I don't know if maybe I don't even know if you can have a life vest.
You would think you could have something.
Yeah, you would think so.
So I'd survive.
That's true. Better. So anyway, that was our day at Castaway. Like we said, there's plenty of other things to do if you're not a swimmer. And also that night, it was Pirate Night.
Pirate Night, yes.
And here's Pirate Mickey.
We didn't do too much of the pirate stuff. I mean, we went to see some characters and then went to the fireworks and found a buffet.
Well, that's because we were at Palo that night.
Yes.
So that was very nice. Palo night was Pirate Night, but we still did plenty of the Pirate Night after the Palo experience.
And I mentioned how much we love seeing the characters in different costumes. It's almost like meeting a different character.
Right. Now, because of time constraints, we're not going to get to Palo today.
That's a remnant.
That's a remnant. That's right. Yes, and here comes Daisy. Look and a lot of the guests are dressed in pirate attire. We did not have full pirate. I brought a Pirate of the Caribbean t-shirt, though.
Where do you even get pirate attire? Probably Amazon or something.
We live less than 10 miles from the Magic Kingdom. There's a ride there called Pirates of the Caribbean, and I would suspect they sell plenty of this stuff. So,
I have no
Amazon
idea.
Also, though.
And Amazon. And there's Donald. Daisy had been down there just a few minutes earlier.
Right. So, and there's Pirate Goofy.
I know, he keeps changing.
Yeah, Goofy has a huge, huge wardrobe.
And it's interesting to see where they're meeting because Goofy has usually been in the lobby.
He dissed that young pirate. Did you see that?
What does that mean?
He did the little fist bump and he pulled away. Now he's telling the young lad he needs to have a eye patch.
Oh,
Pirate Goofy is a wise guy.
And there's
speaking of wise guys,
Captain Hook and Mr. Smee.
Well, we had a little fun with Captain Hook and Mr. Smee. You don't get to see these guys very often
in the parades and such.
In the parades and
meet
Halloween.
Both of them,
sometimes
not as
they're out around Halloween time. But, I thought I would be a little bit of a wise guy myself to Captain Hook.
What a surprise.
Well, I was making the tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock sound. So Captain Hook got a little scared, and he was trying to gesture to Mr. Smee to have me walk the plank. And don't think it's just because I know sign language. The handler was translating all this for me.
The handlers know everything
Handlers
they're saying.
are very talented.
They're actually very good.
So you can hear all the interactions. We will link to these. All these
in
interactions
the show notes.
Are linked. That's correct. Show notes.
And there's the Buccaneer Blast fireworks. This is the finale. Is that correct?
Yes, it is the finale where they are shooting the fireworks right from this particular particular part of the ship.
Well, we chose not to. There's like a show in the center near the pools, but we went to the adult area just to watch the fireworks.
And the reason for that is that because of both dining seatings are all emptied out into that show area, it is incredibly crowded. So we went up to the adult area here, and it was delightfully uncrowded. So we were able to see everything.
A great viewing of the fireworks.
A great viewing with, we didn't have to get there very early. We actually had a tripod. You were going to try to take some pictures, but our tripod was too small.
It's so small, and it's fine sometimes, but
next time.
Yes, next time.
So after a Apollo dinner, pirate night, and fireworks, we decided to head back, but we
to our room. We were just
to our room,
go
right?
to the room.
But we discovered this. Who knew?
You would think we'd know this, but, I didn't realize there was a buffet. And we had just talked about it because I was talking about how at the beginning they didn't have this type of a thing.
Yes, and I never get turkey legs. I would never buy a turkey leg, but a complimentary turkey leg I had to try, even though I had already had a full dinner.
Well, we had eaten like 4 hours earlier, so I had a potato or something, because I can never pass up a potato. But it was...
Well, we also had desserts here. We did not pass those up either.
No, but we didn't go too crazy. I mean, we were both full still from dinner.
Right. It was nice, though, a late night pirate buffet that we didn't know about.
Well, we said next time we'd eat at maybe Cabanas that night and then keep it cool.
I like how they're all dressed up in their pirate outfits, too.
Yes.
So anyway, the next day, which was our final full day, was a day at sea. This was day number 4.
And this is one of our favorite days because you don't have to get off the ship. Well, you can't get off the ship because if you do,
it's very wet. It's not a good ending. But anyway, so it was day at sea. We had fun. We explored the ship. We took tours. But first, the first thing we did was we had a nice champagne brunch at Remy.
It was a wonderful experience. I mean, it's not an inexpensive experience. It's a little less expensive than dinner, but we ended up getting the champagne pairing.
Right. So. With the champagne pairing, I think it's $50 a person extra to do Remy, plus $25
each for the champagne,
and then gratuity. So it was like about $200.
It was exactly $200 because of the gratuity.
Right, but it was well worth it. Again, it was a wonderful experience. We would recommend it. And well, here we go. Let's have a tour of Remy.
This was our big splurge. We didn't do any shore excursions and all that. So.
Right. Oh yeah. We're not one to throw the money around.
Yeah, you don't
certainly.
like to throw the money around.
But it was a splurge for us. And anyway, here is inside of Remy. There is a Remy up there. And how do you say it? Swarovski?
I have no idea.
Swarovski?
I'm
crystal?
I don't know. It's some kind of crystal that starts with S.
Yes.
Swarovski.
I think I made a bad
you would
attempt
think I would
to say
know.
it already. And everywhere you look, there's little hidden Remy's or R's. Now, this is the fabric and the back of some of the chairs.
And there's Remy right there. You can actually see Remy's there.
And there's another Remy. This is the main dining room, where they keep the champagne and the wine.
Right. And they have, I think it was like 900 bottles. Yes, 900 bottles of wine in there.
Isn't there one special bottle?
It's like $10,000, and I think the captain actually comes and
opens it.
He may open it for you.
He has a drink of it too. I think that's in the contract.
We didn't get that.
And here is another Remy behind the chairs. We noticed the chairs that you sit at. There's a Remy. So Remy is to be found everywhere here. But again, it's nicely themed. Here's the chef to greet us for our champagne
Executive
brunch.
Chef Cedric actually was there to greet us. He also came around later, and you'll see him. And we received champagne to begin with. And also, it's like a gourmet ham.
Cured ham. And they have a special machine
They
there.
made Jeff work.
Well, they asked for I volunteered to try the ham slicer.
I think that's great because you don't put your hand near the slicer. It seems much safer that way.
I would think so. And there was another hidden Remy on the plate that we just saw.
And this is, the bread was like a brioche. It was very light and crispy and it was really good.
We got our money's worth on the bread.
I don't think that's quite... I think that's, no, not on the bread.
Well, like we mentioned, we did the champagne pairing, and we had 3 additional champagne pours.
Right, and those were all good.
Yes, very, very good. And I think they were trying to sell bottles of one of those.
Right,
champagne.
I don't know if it's called like Moet, but they tried to sell it for like $59, but we didn't
go for that, no. So this was the chili.
Nachi chili. I believe it's a potato dumpling.
Yeah.
And that was very...
It was wonderful,
It was wonderful. Everything that we had was very good.
And it's so artistic. I mean, I actually, the food, it's like art the way they present it to you.
And this is, I believe it's called a lobster cannelloni, and it's almost like a little wrap. I mean, it is a wrap.
Well, it's 2 parts.
Very light.
It's the wrap, and then there's actually a fresh piece of Maine lobster with caviar there,
Correct.
which was outstanding.
And I gave you that. I tried a little bit for the first time of the lobster of the wrap.
I give you credit because you've never had lobster
I've
before.
never had lobster.
Oh, and here is the pop, the champagne pop, which I love. I call lots of things pop.
And there is a little bit of a backstory. I guess in Paris there are some streets where you can't drink champagne openly or any kind of alcohol. And so this bottle actually looks more like soda.
Right. It's well, they can't have the large bottle, but you're allowed to have the smaller bottle. That's what he said.
And you can put a straw in it.
That's right. And carry multiples.
Yes.
In his belt.
And I had a piece of Kobe beef that he had asked if I had any dietary restrictions. I mentioned that I don't really eat seafood, and he offered to bring me something different. I didn't ask him for that, and so I thought it was nice that they do work with you on if you're a little more picky.
Yes, it's very nice. So even if you aren't a seafood, don't give up. Don't give up on the Remy experience. This is something you certainly would not have had. This is why you had the Kobe beef. It is the sea bass, and it's on egg. And, it was wonderful for me. I love seafood. It was fantastic, but not for you.
And then we had the veal also. And I went about 30 or 40 years without eating veal because when I was a kid, I learned it was baby cows. But last year, I think I had my first piece.
And it was
since,
wonderful, wasn't it?
8.
It was fantastic.
It was very good.
Melt in your mouth.
All of it's like melting, everything melts in your mouth here.
And that was a potato that you just saw with the veal. Again, it's very artistic. Everything so artistic. Mm-hmm. The third specialty champagne we had was actually the one that was on ice, which was sort of a dessert champagne. Mm-hmm. And there's the chef right there.
Yes, he came around. We saw him a lot that day.
Yeah, he was very attentive to us.
And this is, I think it's called Perry Breast. And it's hazelnut praline. I think the ice cream is like hazelnut, but I'm not positive. And this is very delicious.
It was
almost
tremendous.
Like little cream puffs.
I'm looking at this. I'm hungry right now.
I know, it was a wonderful meal.
What a great dessert. And we capped it off with some coffee for me. You had some tea.
Pressed tea.
Yeah, the real pressed tea, like at when you go to the Grand Floridian for the high tea there. So I thought that was a very nice touch.
And then you're like about to roll out the door, and here they bring you more stuff.
More stuff. Have some more stuff.
Oh my gosh, like little treats, And I guess at dinner they even do more. So
yeah, it was wonderful. I would recommend it, and I would do it again.
Obviously I would too. I thought that was a very, very nice experience. I was surprised that there were people who were dressed a little bit down, like a t-shirt even.
Yeah, we went out of our way to pick out clothes and buy new clothes and all this.
Most people were in a collar and a slacks, so.
Right, and I think at night they will probably restrict it a little bit better.
And this is it's actually called the Gusteau room for Chef Gusteau in Ratatouille.
And there's the Chef Gusteau's kitchen. That is the actual kitchen that he has in the movie.
That Remy likes to cook in.
Yes, Remy sneaks around in there. And there's your Eiffel Tower. You love Paris.
It's almost like having windows onto the city. And this is like sort of a VIP room or a private room. But if there's nobody actually in it for dinner, you can request it.
Yeah, anybody can eat there. It's not restricted to two special parties.
Right.
It was not open, unfortunately, for the brunch. But for dinner, they will take requests for dining there.
That would have been very nice.
Yes, but it was still very nice. It'll give us something to look forward to for dinner.
I know. I can't even think about food right now.
Yes.
I've just looked at all this food, and then it's like, okay, no more right now.
And here's the room that we were greeted in earlier. There's a lot of very interesting details to be seen in here. Like over there, the Remy bottle.
And the Remy with the whiskers above the Tattinger. I don't know what that is, like an ice bucket?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I see. And actually, the whole wall is a big Remy, if you really looked at it. And there's the Ratatouille. I don't think that's a real bottle.
I have no idea.
But these are real bottles, not for sale, all signed by John Lasseter, which are very nice, by the way. I like all the different labels there. I wonder if anybody can buy them without the signatures.
You know what? I have no idea. I didn't see any other bottles there without a signature, so maybe it was like limited edition.
And like we mentioned before, there was that very expensive bottle, which the
10,000, right?
The captain himself has to.
We don't drink a lot of wine or anything like that, so.
So anyway, that was it. That was our great experience. We loved Remy. We would go back. And
there's Goofy and Max.
Goofy and Max. We've got a lot of interest on our YouTube video about this. A lot of our viewers hadn't seen Max before, and I haven't really seen Max. I guess you have seen him.
I have seen him at Epcot, not often, and I think he was there for at least one day recently. But it used to be that sometimes he'd be in front of the fountain. Is it called Fountain of Nations?
Yeah,
I know it's been called so many things.
We're by the Beverly.
Yes, and I have seen him there, and I think I met him there once.
I used to see him all the time back in the 90s. at Disneyland when I would go out there. He seemed to be very popular right around the time they had the Disney afternoon. I think he was part of that somehow.
This was I don't want to say it was the longest line, but it was the slowest moving line. This was a 45-minute line for us. I was surprised that there were so many guests in line for them.
It was great, though. I love Max. Max is awesome.
Had a longer line, but it moved very fast.
Now, this was another thing we did during the day. Of course, right after having that Remy lunch, you wanted to do a cooking.
Well, it wasn't right after. It was like a couple hours after.
Yes.
And the chef, Cedric, was there again. And they were cooking. I think it's a palo dish.
It is a palo dish.
The lobster ravioli.
Lobster ravioli.
And this was only about 20 minutes. It was like, shorter than a character line, the whole seminar.
But this was given to us.
Yes,
what
it was
a nice
free.
Bonus. And a glass of champagne each.
It was a glass of wine.
Oh, I'm sorry, wine. I had champagne.
But
in the
I
mind.
don't eat really the lobster, so
How
I
horrible!
gave you mine.
I had
Yeah,
to have
I
more
know.
lobster.
It was nice. It was a little free seminar.
And after that, we went on deck. We took a look at the aqueduct, which we had ridden the other night at night. And I just thought everybody would want to get a look at aqueduct. You had some facts you wanted to say on aqueduct.
Well, I believe it's 735 feet long, and I believe it's also, and I should have looked this up, the first water coaster at sea. Not the first slide, but it's actually considered a water coaster.
Because it pushes you up the hills, which you experienced at night, and you forgot about the heavy water from the back.
I freaked out. I don't want to say I freaked out, not quite, but it's a lot easier, I think, during the day for me.
Now, we also went and saw the Disney Believe show, which was a great show. As you can see right here, though, there's no photography or videotaping. That's why we aren't really showing coverage of it on our show. But we did go to see the shows, and we thought they were very good.
Well, we have photos, and I don't know if you took any video from the media cruise.
Yeah, they
did
allowed
allow
you
us
to
at that
record
time.
back then, and some of that, most of that is actually up on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah, we can link to that.
I'd have to look.
And the goodbye show after a wonderful cruise.
This was so much fun. We saw that they were having a little something in the evening, and for about 20 minutes, all these characters meet and greet, and all of a sudden there's a show, and it's only a few minutes, but it's really worth seeing.
And the purpose of all this is if you missed a certain character, if there was anybody you really wanted to see, this was your last chance, because after this, all the characters go away for the rest of the cruise. They're on their vacation for a day till the next people come
Right.
in.
This is about 10:30 at night right here.
Yeah. So it was actually very nice because they were really rushing you. You had no time to do my little talks with them. It was quick, get a picture, move. But I think it was great.
We met like 5 characters.
Yeah.
So it was, the lines weren't
Quick,
so
quick,
bad.
quick.
Right. Quick.
So, and here's Mickey to wave goodbye one last time. It was kind of sad that our great cruise was coming to an end.
It was like the end of summer camp. That's what it felt like in this lobby. Everybody was so sad.
And then the next day, reality. Right where
I know
it
at like
started.
4:30 in the morning you feel the ship, getting into port, and then I didn't get back to sleep
there's my
too
car.
much.
I could see my car
Can
on the
you?
4th level there sticking out, the nose of it. So that was our cruise. We had a great time. We can't wait to do another
I know.
one. We'll have to do the magic next
That's
time.
what we're hoping for sometime in the next few months if we can do it.
If we can
before
get
it
another
goes to
good
Europe.
another
Yes.
good deal, definitely.
A Florida resident, right?
Now, when we got back, also some excitement was happening here at the Magic Kingdom. One of the walls came down at the new Fantasyland Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in New Fantasyland, and this is sort of the walk around. All this area was blocked off by walls previously, so this is already exciting for us.
And most of the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is still behind walls, but it was really nice to actually get to see really what they're doing behind the walls.
And it does look beautiful. It does fit in with the Little Mermaid area behind it. I like the waterfall.
I do
way.
too.
The waterfall is very relaxing.
And the rock work. It's taken a long time. This is going to be, I think, by the time it ends, a 3-year project.
Yeah. And you can see there's Imagineers were working on the mountain. So, and it is a pretty good drop. I would say it's somewhere between the Goofy roller coaster and Big Thunder. Everyone's calling it Little Thunder. That's the nickname now, Little Thunder.
Well, somebody's called it a big drop, and it doesn't look like a big drop, but it looks sort of like Everest, but a lot smaller.
Yes.
But it looks like it will be a good time.
I can't wait.
I'm really
here's
looking
those
forward to
trees.
this.
Now, some of these trees are not exactly real trees.
But
these
they look
trees
real.
up here, but then there are actual planted trees down lower.
They look real, though. I mean, the way they sway in the wind.
Yeah.
I think Disney has done a wonderful job on this.
I wonder if you'll get a little mist when you're flying through there on those mine car coasters.
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to find out very soon.
Yes, probably in a couple more months. I think 2.5 more months or so.
Well, we know there
probably.
is a media event April 30th, right? April 30th, May
Around
1st.
that time. Mm-hmm.
That time. So it has to be running
It's
by then.
supposed to be running by then.
But speaking of running, our good friend Steve Fox, the Fox, stuck around. We had left because we were told an official Disney person said there will be no more running.
But that was not true.
That was not true. But thanks to our good friend the Fox,
this must have been like 5 minutes after we left. We had been there for hours.
But we
went to get something to eat.
Yes,
and then
that's our downfall.
Then we went to go check this out, and it didn't look like it was going to run.
But in fairness, we have seen it run ourselves.
Yes.
It's just this day we didn't. So anyway, thank you to Mr.
Yes,
Fox
thank
for
you
the
very
footage.
much.
And again, we can't wait. Mine Train.
And the new parade starts next month.
Right, the new parade. I can't wait to see that too. Very exciting.
That should be good too.
So today is Valentine's Day. So I just want to tell you, Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And I enjoyed all of our adventures in the last year, and I'm looking forward to many more good adventures.
Thank you very
much.
much.
So I'll give you
too.
a little Valentine's kiss. So enough of the mushy stuff, though.
No more mushy stuff.
So anyway, we will see everybody. Thanks to our sponsor, Theme Park Connection. And also, one last thing. It's race week. I will be going to Daytona, as I always do. So next week's show might be a couple days late, probably about next Tuesday, or the following Tuesday.
We'll get it done as soon as we can.
We'll get it done. So anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you all soon.
Happy Valentine's Day, and have a great week.
Have a great week.